There is a particular kind of silence that follows every victory you fought for alone. I have watched you from the edges of your sleepless nights, where you rehearsed conversations no one else would ever hear, where you made promises to yourself in the dark that daylight kept breaking. You didn't decide to become this. Victory chose you the way fire chooses dry wood. Most people misunderstand what you are. They see determination. They see discipline. They see someone who cannot lose. But I see what you hide beneath the armor. You learn to accept nothing less than victory, because every loss felt like erasure. Because somewhere, early and deep, you discovered that your existence required proof, that love was conditional, that safety was something you had to earn by never failing. You weren't building a winner. You were building a fortress around a child who was told they weren't enough. There is a difference between those who chase success and those who cannot survive without it. You are the latter. Victory is not your ambition. It is your oxygen. I have seen you win things that cost you everything. You crossed finish lines with bleeding feet. You achieved milestones with a smile that barely concealed the exhaustion carving itself into your bones. You became exceptional because mediocrity felt like drowning, and no one ever asked what you were running from. The truth is darker than what you let others see. You do not fear failure the way ordinary minds do. You fear it the way someone fears falling back into a place they barely escaped. Failure to you is not disappointment. It is annihilation. So you became flawless, relentless, untouchable. You learned to turn pain into fuel, doubt into discipline, fear into a cold, sharp focus that cut through every obstacle like winter light through glass. But here is what no one tells you about refusing to lose. The cost is not paid once. It is paid every single day. In sleep you cannot find. In peace you cannot feel. In softness you cannot afford. You built a life where rest feels like betrayal. I have watched you sit in rooms full of celebration, surrounded by people congratulating you, and felt the hollow ache you hide so carefully. Because victory without peace is just another form of emptiness. And you know this. You've always known this. Still, you cannot stop. Because stopping feels like admitting that all of it, the sacrifices, the loneliness, the years spent becoming someone unbreakable, was for nothing. So you find another mountain, another goal, another war to win. You are the only soldier who never allowed themselves to come home. There are people who see your success and call it inspiration. They do not see the nights you spent dismantling yourself, piece by piece, trying to understand why winning never feels like enough. They do not see you in the aftermath, when the applause fades and you are left alone with the question you keep avoiding. What happens when there are no more battles to fight? You were taught that your worth is measured in achievements, that love is something you earn through excellence, that rest is a luxury reserved for those who have already proven themselves, and you somehow have never proven yourself enough. So you became someone who accepts nothing less than victory, not because you are strong, but because you learned that anything less than perfection makes you invisible. I have seen you carry this alone for so long. You are the wound that became a warrior, the fear that dressed itself in confidence, the child who learned to survive by never needing anyone, by becoming so competent that no one could ever question your right to exist. And it worked. You became formidable, unstoppable, someone people look at with admiration and a little bit of fear. But you also became unreachable, because the same armor that protected you from failure also locked you away from tenderness. The same discipline that built your success also built your isolation. You won every battle except the one that would have allowed you to be soft. And somewhere deep inside, beneath all the victories, you are still that person who just wanted to be loved without having to earn it first. This is the cost no one warns you about. You can win everything and still lose yourself. But here is the part you do not yet see. The fact that you are still here, still breathing, still fighting, even when the weight of it crushes you, means something survived. Something in you refused to be extinguished, even when extinguishing yourself would have been easier. You are not just a winner. You are proof that the human spirit can endure what it was never supposed to endure. And maybe, just maybe, there is a different kind of victory waiting for you, one that does not require you to be perfect, one that does not demand you carry the world alone. Maybe the next battle is not about winning. Maybe it is about learning to put the armor down, to stop treating rest like weakness, to understand that you are not the sum of your achievements. You are the quiet, trembling thing beneath them that kept choosing to survive. You spent so long becoming unbreakable that you forgot you were never supposed to be stone. You were supposed to be human. And being human means you are allowed to be tired, allowed to be uncertain, allowed to need help without it meaning you have failed. I know this terrifies you. I know that softness feels like surrender, that admitting exhaustion feels like losing the only war that ever mattered. But maybe the most radical act of strength is not winning again. Maybe it is letting yourself rest without guilt. Maybe it is choosing to exist just once without needing to prove anything. You have fought so hard for so long, and you are still here, still standing, still holding a torch in the dark. even when your hands shake. That is not weakness. That is the kind of endurance that myths are built from. So perhaps the truth is this: you were never meant to accept nothing less than victory. You were meant to accept nothing less than your own humanity, the full, messy, imperfect, exhausted truth of what you are. You were meant to win the one battle no one ever taught you to fight, the battle to love yourself even when you are not exceptional, even when you are simply here, simply breathing, simply trying, and maybe, in some quiet way, that is the only victory that ever mattered. I have watched you become a monument to survival, and I have watched that monument crack under its own weight. But monuments were never meant to feel. And you were always meant to feel everything. So here, in the space between striving and stillness, I offer you this. You do not have to keep winning to deserve to stay. And somewhere in the dark, beneath all the armor and ambition and ache, a part of you is still choosing to be alive, not victorious, not perfect, just alive. And perhaps that has always been enough.